Greetings and salutations. I am doing a contest entry for one Johnny Mac over at Rock and Metal Plus. I know Mark G with a C just got his entry in. But there's no actual fucking date of when this is supposed to be over, John. Sorry. It's not in your video. If it is, I'm fucking blind or stupid. Either or, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm going to do this contest entry that basically says he wants us to do a quick video, showing 5 records, CDs, or tapes on the music that you got into today. It could be 5 death metal records, it could be 5 thrash, 5 black metal records, could be 5 rock and roll records, whatever it is that you listen to that's gotten you into what you listen to. And also 5 shoutouts. I'm going to do an honorable mention, and then I'm going to do my 5 channels that I love. I'm not going to pick channels that are lower on the totem pole. These are just channels that I love to watch. It's that simple. Okay, so let's do this. So, for those of you who watch my journey through music, you know that at first I was into country stuff. But what I listen to on a current basis is far different, as everyone knows. From going from a little kid listening to country music from around 4 or 5 years old, I got into this record that was told to me by one of my best friends growing up. One of my best friends he basically looked at me and goes, "I've had enough of you listening to this country garbage. You're going to listen to this." That is AC/DC, Who Made Who. The very first song that I heard was off of side 2, Hell's Bells. And I sat there and said, how is it possible for a guy to be yelling and screaming into a microphone like that? And why is it doing things? Why do I get this tingly feeling? Great rock and roll riffs. Simplistic, very simplistic. I borrowed this tape from him, and I'm pretty sure I think it took me about 2 months to give it back. 2 months to give it back to him. Okay? So it just goes to show how much I love this record. Obviously, I lost track of it for a while, and I've gotten it back. I picked this up about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, I think it was, on cassette. Maybe I'm wrong, because I know I did show it in a video. Now, that wasn't the very first cassette that I heard that I was really excited about. Actually, this was the first. Sorry, this was the first. And then the second was a cassette that my dad had. Obviously, it's no longer in existence. And that had all sorts of bands like the Stones and the Hollies and the Who and Led Zeppelin and yada, yada, yada. Fast forward a couple years after that, because this was out in 1980. This is 86, but I heard of it when I was 6 years old in 1987. Fast forward a couple years later, when this was released, and this record is what got me into music that was a little bit heavier. And this actually took over for quite a while, but this wasn't the first, the first song that I heard, obviously, is Trapped Under Ice. This was the first record that I heard in full, because Trapped Under Ice was just one that was on a mixtape, and then I heard that. I was like, oh, that's cool. Wow, what is that? Why is that so fast? And then it was a couple weeks later, this was released. Now, mind you, I didn't get into this until, because this was out in 1990, and 1991 is sort of where I heard that. So again, you're from 87 to, 4 years later. Now, of course, this sat around for quite a while, like into my junior high years. So basically, these 2 bands ate up most of my lifetime. Fast forwarding through a good many years later, I got into the record. This one record, and it's the record that came before. Which, don't ask me where it is, because I don't know. I am terrible. Shit's just everywhere. This record and Demanufacture, oh my god, Demanufacture were the 2 records that got me into extreme metal. I realized that there was a whole other world outside of this and the early stuff of them. Obviously, Black Sabbath had jumped in there, and there was all of that shit. This and The Manufacturer were two of the most important records in my life at that point, because they helped me to grieve through my father's passing. But I got into this in 99, like late 1999, 2000s, and then rolled into later on. Then here's the fourth record. These two were very instrumental in helping me get through my father's passing in 2003. And the thing is like, because after the first two albums, like, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, this sort of brought me back into the whole, okay, even though this is pounding and very aggressive, this is also very aggressive, and yet there's a lot of groove to it. And throughout the years, of course, I had heard many different bands and all this different things, but I never really deep dove into some of these other records. So the fifth record I'm going to discuss right now is this. Now, I want people to understand that I'd already heard the big hit by these guys, but I didn't go batshit crazy into the genre, as I've said before, until about 15 years ago. And that was this. Cannibal Corpse's Evisceration Plague. Again, I'd heard Hammer Smash Face, and I had heard, even during the time of this, I was also still listening to some pretty extreme music. I just never grasped onto death metal until this. Now I would hear it at parties and such through friends of mine, through musicians and so on. Like I heard it, I ingested it, but I didn't go full bore fucking batshit crazy until I got into this. Now, a lot of people don't like this record, and I kind of understand why, but this has got quite a lot, like Scalding Hail and Priest of Sodom and To Decompose. That's one of my favorites off of this record. Cauldron of Hate, Beheading and Burning, Evidence in the Furnace. That's just fucking badass. I love it so much. Skewered from Ear to Eye, the title track, Shatter Their Bones. Cannibal's been ever since then, they have been a constant in my life. I've been a big fan of Cannibal pretty much for the last 14, 15 years. Do I have all the records? No, because sometimes it's expensive. That being said, those are the 5 records. And again, I'll quickly go through them. Not that you guys really want me to do this. Who Made Who? The Black Album. Starting off the Metallica train. Fear Factory. Pantera's Far Beyond Driven. Also, not only this, The Great Southern Trendkill. I just don't happen to have it in my hands. And Cannibal Corpse. And obviously, because just in case you guys think I'm fucking crazy, this. Now, I could have went into some Doom stuff because you guys know that I'm a big fan of Doom, but really I didn't Doom was, it sort of took me a bit to get into that. But that's the records. The 5 shoutouts. Honorable mention number 1 has to be the other guys in the podcast. Josh Keach, love watching Josh's stuff. Metal Marty Mack, Johnny, who this wonderful contest is for. I hope I'm getting in at the right time, because as I said, there's no fucking end date in this bell. And Cody from Metal Miners. Now, I don't watch a lot of their stuff on a constant basis because I get sidetracked easily with other channels. So the channels that I tend to watch the most, and these are my shoutouts. Mark G with a C, obviously. There's not a whole lot of Mark stuff that I do miss, because I get the notifications for every single video he releases. Cloudy Milder, which is Andy, which is your self-proclaimed metal mogul. I do love watching his stuff, but there are just sometimes I don't get a chance to see all of his videos because he can't have the notifications on. So sometimes I just have to type in and just fucking binge watch a bunch of his stuff. I'm going to go with Darcy, over at Six Strings Nine Lives. Between him and Andy and the next fella, I haven't really watched a lot of their stuff because I don't get the pop-ups, right? They don't, there's no notifications on, basically. So Mark, Andy, and Darcy. Darcy does a lot of rankings, and Darcy makes it very difficult to watch his ranking videos, because obviously it's his ranking. Sometimes I'm like, ew, Darcy. But at the same time, Darcy has got a wide range of what he likes versus what he doesn't like. And he's got a stupid amount of fucking subscribers too. Guys, because I'm going to actually have to pull this up and see what he's got. I'm pretty sure he's got over 3,000. I know, yes, live. This is, yeah, there it is. Six Strings, Nine Lives. Darcy, what have you got now? Fuck, I guess I was wrong. He's got 4,500 subscribers. Jesus Christ, Darcy. Anywho, regardless, the guy just makes the content that everybody wants to watch. Okay. Next, and someone who I haven't actually watched I actually haven't watched a couple of his videos in a while. But I'm going to bring him up anyways. Liam the Death Doom Metalhead. He is really, really fantastic when it comes to black metal and death metal and doom metal. Obviously, Death Doom. But he's been getting obviously into the whole fucking black metal a lot lately. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong with that. He's just got, he has a swath of knowledge as far as I'm concerned. Now, the next channel I'm going to talk about, I already mentioned it with one, that was Cody, but I'm going to bring up Anthony over at Metal Miners. Anthony listens to some of the most disgustingly putrid fucking death metal. It's absolutely fantastic. He gets some of the, like, he goes deep into the underground. He listens to it all. He's always posting content, usually early morning. So every time I'm awake, he's already got a video that's popped up. Now, I don't know if he's doing this like when he gets off of work or something, which is kind of cool. It works out good for him. So yeah, if you're into it, go check out Anthony over at Metal Miners. And of course, I'm going to have all these channels in the description below. Now, another channel I'm going to mention, and I'm literally just looking at it now. This is sort of a 6, I guess, 7 maybe. This is the next channel I'm going to point you guys to is the Heavy Metal Journal. It's a dear friend of mine from Twitter, Lindsay, and she does a lot of these. She brings a lot of news. She talks about bands that are coming out with new releases and so on. I honestly think you guys should check it out. And the video that I'm looking at here is 10 albums that got me into metal music. Lindsay is fan-fucking-tastic. There's not a whole lot that she doesn't know about. But there's a few other channels I could go on and on and on about, but I'm not going to. That way I'm not blowing things up. So anywho, thank you guys so very much for watching. I really appreciate this, and I'm going to see you back with some more things. Just as sort of a side note, I think I'm going to get back into doing reviews. But I think the records I'm going to review are not really underground, but they're on to like labels, but not major labels. So yeah. Anyways, keep an eye out for that, and I will see you guys soon.